Welcome. This is Astrology Insight Now, a weekly forecast program with astrology and other ways to help you make the most of your week and to heighten confidence for daily life. It's run by Pamela Cuccinell, that's me, the astrologer, and I invite you to find out more about my work at insightoasis.com. I look forward to your joining us every week. Please share with your friends, and here we go. This is going to be the first of what I hope to be regular meditations, reflections on the full and new moons. And ideally, it will happen midweek because my weekly forecast is revealed on, usually, depending on where you are, the day before the week begins on Monday, but that is variable depending on location on the planet. So today I'm going to talk about the Aquarius full moon that happens depending on where you are. I will give the time for August 19th, 2:25 p.m. Eastern Time using Washington, D.C. So this is what I'm looking at. And you need to adjust that depending on where you are. But that doesn't really matter for the meditation that I'm going to give after this very brief discussion on this particular full moon, which is a supermoon. Thank you, Richard Nully, who coined this phrase when a lunation, either full moon or new moon, is at its closest point in orbit to Earth. Especially the full moon we notice because when it's close to something on our landscape here on Earth, it appears gigantic. So may you be somewhere where you see a beautiful, lush full moon. And the piece that I want to talk to you very briefly right now is that each meditation that I hope to give, even though in this case it's going to be the emphasis on an Aquarius full moon, it is also taking in consideration where the other planets are at this point in time when we are doing the meditation, because no full or new moon is exactly the same, because the planets are always moving, and our perspective to how those geometric aspects work is creating a synchronistic energy that reflects what's going on in Earth. Doesn't necessarily cause it, although depending on the astrologer, they might say energetically it does. But what we're looking at in the symbolic language is a mirror of things that are happening right here on our planet. So this particular full moon has a lot of activity that speaks about change. It speaks about change. It speaks about reaction to those changes and how we deal with it. Those who listen to my recording about this week realize or remember that I was speaking about Saturn square Mars, which was occurring, and also how we would end up with this configuration of Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn, and what that would feel like for us. And basically what it can feel like is rock pushing against something that wants to move. And Mars wants to move, and it wants to make big moves. So there is pressure to either really tailor the movement so that the message is well executed, or there's pressure that tries to crush, tamp down the movement, which is really difficult to do with the Jupiter emphasis, because Jupiter wants to make everything bigger, and it's really igniting that Mars energy. Now, what happens when the full moon is exact is we also have a T-square, where Venus, the planet that has to do with expression of love, certainly women, money, what we value, that is in the highest point in the horoscope as I look at the Washington, D.C. one. And it is getting a direct opposition from Saturn, which is tug of war energy, working on pulling that Venusian expression of let's talk about the things we really want to talk about, because Venus is about want. It's what we want. We want beauty, we want love, we want money, we want equality, we want justice. These are all very strong words connected to Venus. And with Saturn, Saturn wants limits, discipline, frames, boundaries, and there's an opposition going on here. So how do we structure things so that there's equilibrium? And then that's getting the T-square activity, the friction from the Mars-Jupiter picture, which is basically just saying action. Let's just push these two things to extremes, both polarizing, but also getting dialogue going, because oppositions sometimes create vast distances. How do these two things come together? But the square there, the Mars-Jupiter, is basically saying let's take action and create a dialogue, a story of how do we bring Venus and Saturn together. And this just continues to get interesting when you think about actually the birth of Venus in mythology. Many people have seen that, among other things, that beautiful painting by Botticelli of Venus rising from a clamshell out of the sea. But she was born from Saturn's action. And I won't go into the whole myth or story, but Saturn basically created the action by creating a sense of wanting to usurp his father, which is exactly what he did. And the myth is very strong. But by doing this, by Saturn's desire to take over, Venus love was born from the sea. So it's a very interesting polarization that we're confronting in Mars. Mars is the warrior, it's desire, it's what is it that we are so impassioned about that we rise up and do it. We take action, and Jupiter is pushing us on. So not to get too in the weeds about the picture, but then what's occurring is, of course, the opposition that we're talking about, which is the moon in Aquarius being lit by the Leo sun. So what exactly does that mean? Well, when the moon is in Aquarius, there's an emphasis on community, on networking, on connecting to, well, actually a bigger vision of what it is you want or are aiming for, what makes you feel comfortable within humanity. And that looks different depending on who you are or how you think about it. And Aquarius is an air sign. It's mental, a lot of activity. At its ideal, it's very objective. It disseminates. It brings a sense of equilibrium to discussion. But there are extremes in all the signs, as we know. There's negatives and positives. So when this moon, that longing to be in community, to be seen for your individuality, your genius, the light you alone bring, comes ignited by that Leo sun. What is it? What is it that you bring that is your light? within that community, within that longing for either connection, or sometimes Aquariuses just want to hole up and not deal with any of it because they alone are the ones who know the answer. And so it's an interesting thing to reflect on as we go into the meditation. But I invite you to consider, what light do you want to bring, or do you feel moved to bring, to allow you a sense of feeling as though you're really being seen, nurtured, and able to express what it is you feel is most important within your community, within the impact you have on what it is you feel. And for some people, it's writing a letter to someone they care about or feel is speaking for them politically. For other people, it's becoming very active. For some people, it's working within community to build bridges. For other people, it's about simply tapping in and expressing what it is their voice is that's unique. Could be an art form, could be a way they deal within their family. But Aquarius is the sign that wants to express that, as Thoreau said, that the beat to the different drummer, that you alone hear. So now we're going to move into the meditation and just give yourself some quiet peace. And as we do this, I invite you to relax. The ideal way to do this kind of meditation is to be sitting in a chair that is comfortable, or if you find yourself at your work desk or wherever you are that perhaps isn't that comfortable, but you have time and you want to relax into the meditation, here's the way to receive it. So you sit, and as you sit, you become aware of your feet, and ideally your feet are directly under your knees. And your knees move to the sense of knowing that your thighs embrace your hips, and your hips are sitting in a place where you feel centered and secure at this point in time. And from that place of your hips, become aware of your spine that is moving upward in a gentle S curve, not ramrod straight, but a gentle, natural curve where you feel your shoulders resting over those hips, and you feel your skull, especially your chin, in alignment, parallel with your thighs. So your feet, as they rest on the floor, are sending down imaginary roots from the soles of your feet. Imaginary roots sail down past the tile, past the floorboards, if you're on the ground, into the earth, going down, whether you're in a city or you're in your backyard or in a quiet place in your home. Picture those roots moving effortlessly through the spaces they have to move, whether apartment floors or through an urban infrastructure or into the earth where eventually they will go, into the earth, through soil, through sand, through bedrock, going down, 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 into the heart of the earth, through the molten earth, moving down into the absolute core of the earth, into the core where it spirals and connects, grounding you, anchoring you. And from that sacred place, feel the energy move up those roots, lighting them up with bright green, energetic light. Feel that light spiral through the earth, absorbing minerals that your body needs, moving through, connecting to your special individual roots until up that light kisses the soles of your feet and then lights up those feet with bright green healing light, and then slowly spirals up your calves, gently whispering along your knees, encircling your thighs with its wonderful healing light, and then cradling your pelvis, your hips, the beautiful bowl of your hips on which your coccyx spine rests. And as the light spirals around this point of your spine, the light starts to change into white and then ruby red healing light. It spirals around that point of your lower spine, infusing it with energy that grounds you, helps you feel so connected to the earth, to the rightness of your being here at this point in time. And then that light spirals up very quietly and sinks around your lower abdomen where the second chakra is, and brightens that light spiral, a wonderful orange like a marigold, infusing that area with health and vitality and a sense of creativity. And then it moves very gently and cradles your waist around your navel. And as it does, that light shifts into the bright yellow of a sunflower's petal. And it vibrates with the energy of your unique self, your golden light. And then that spiral rises up more around your rib cage and encircles your heart, shifting to a spring green light tinged with a rosy pink. And as it encircles your heart chakra, feel that love, that joy of an early spring bloom, reminding you of new beginnings and the absolute pleasure of love in spite of also what it brings, the risk involved of love, but the absolute joy of being able to love and be loved. Invite that in. And then that light wraps around your shoulders and gently encircles around your throat, turning bright blue like a cobalt blue sky. And you feel the truth of your words and the rightness of your articulation for what you know. And that light encircles, rising, gently stroking your chin, your mouth, and settling around your eyes like a visor of light, lighting up a bright, beautiful violet light, encircling that third eye energy right between your eyebrows, opening up your ability to see and know and seek. And finally, that light comes to the top of your crown, bursting with bright white light and an inner indigo flare. And that light travels up in a bright, lazy spiral, heading up to your ceiling, to the sky, high up into the sky, past the heavens, up to the tippy top of the solar system, seeking your star high above. And when it finds it, it embraces your starlight, your stardust, and cascades back down to encircle you in a wonderful, gentle, embrace of healing light. And from this place of peace and connection and knowing, think about, not with your mind, but with that third eye, invite in your unique place in this world, your voice, your truth, your place of being. Because this new moon that began weeks ago was resonating with that divine light that you came in with. And now the full moon that we are reflecting at this point in time is asking that divine light be seen, be celebrated, be articulated within community, however small or however large. It's not necessary for you to determine the impact, but what is vital is for you to recognize your need, your want, your desire for expression at this point in time. And the urge of the integration is to encourage articulation of what that is. And if you don't know, then this is the time to sit with it and let it come. Let it encourage you to know it. And it's possible that you will be able to express it to a loved one, to a community, to a platform, through artwork, through writing, through music, through gardening. It's possible that you have a place to allow it voice. And if that possibility doesn't seem to be there, then the most important piece at this moment is for you to recognize it's there and it's yours and you feel it. And when we come out of this meditation, there's a place to put that integrative urge, even if it's just for you. because the most important piece is to validate within you the rightness and the value of what it is you know, what it is you feel, and what it is you deserve. Because the time will come for you to receive all that and express it. Sometimes it begins small, and it is also possible that for you, this is a big movement. One is not better than the other. The value is to know yourself, where you're at, and what is your truth for now. So we are coming back. We are coming back into what may feel more like the present, although you have been in the present. And as we come back to full recognition of where we are in physical space, I'm going to count to 10. And as I do, you're going to become more aware of where you are, your physical surroundings. And when you hear me say 10, you're going to wake up into full alertness and being. So 1, taking breath in or out, letting that breath imbue your body with a sense of physical presence. 2, feeling your feet firmly on the ground. 3, letting your body start to wake, come into awareness. 4, awareness of feeling seated, a little heaviness on your body where you sit. 5, moving very slightly into the space of your surroundings. 6, letting yourself enter into a little light as your eyes start to allow sight. 7, gaining awareness. 8, letting your eyes flutter open. 9, perhaps a little tingling as you get more fully awake. 10, present, energized, and here. Welcome back. Wishing you a productive and fruitful full moon. Enjoy that supermoon wherever you are. And I look forward to seeing you once again as you open up into the podcast of the weekly forecast. And please let me know if you've enjoyed this and what you think. Thanks so much. Blessed be. You have been listening to Astrology Insight Now. Please share with your friends, and if you'd like to make a donation, you can do so at astrologyinsightnow.com. Have a stellar week, and we hope to see you next time.